after much here comes the attack. And the patch plus the kill tap has landed.
Boy, and the Puntalon Sling gonna go in for the kill, and that is gonna be Demigod.
Teleport also comes in as well. Nocturne with the paranoia. The gap in like to secure the edge. Okay, there's a flash in. And Pickups. Habol dito. Wow, sa damage.
Welcome back, Summoners, as we head into Game 4 of the Garena Local League powered by Lenovo. Challenge what you know. Pero bago tayo pumasok sa bakbakan, magpapakilala muna kami ng mga inyong casters ngayong game na to. Ako si Arctic at your service fam. Siyempre, kasama ko yun si Vulcan. And man, these games just get all the more intense. Bicol University heading into yet another game after a defeat against University of Santo Tomas Legazpi. So, let's see if they'll be able to recuperate. Pero sa nakita naman natin sa game na yun, may laban naman talaga sila.
In a way that it's kind of hard to say, because now we're going to be seeing Bicol University, Shave, and SCT, H2O Esports. These are two teams now at a similar position that we saw USTL was at, UST and Cat C. Now we're going to be seeing a same type of, let's say, redeeming match, because BU Shave, they just lost their game against USTL. And I would say that was a very convincing defeat. And now they will have to try and defeat H2O Esports and further crush H2O Esports, or to make them actually bounce back, because this is actually a game where when you have two losses in each team, in the LCL, the format itself, the stakes are higher compared to a clean slate game where you're both 0-0, because you do want to make it out to the next stage.
But, you know, while we're waiting for the game, while we wait to get into the game, let's go ahead and talk more about what changes that we've seen thus far here in the preseason. So, we've pretty much tackled just the general, I was about to say meta, but general lack of meta so far. And
I think when you talk about meta, this is tilted. You're tilted.
Yeah, preseason's tilting me, and I think it's really showing even in the accessories. So
when you're talking about, let's say, pre-meta, I think the viewers out there are really seeing, like, being frustrated with ADCs, because they are ridiculously powerful, especially ADCs with very high mobility. Let's say the Jhin, the Vayne. Oh, it's just ridiculous to have the footwork keystone in it. And I really miss the good old days.
You miss the, yeah.
I really
I'd have
miss
to
it.
agree with you there.
Like, where are the good old days where you would try to be more creative? And now I picture this preseason as more of a, it simplifies everything all into one. Okay, it really has interesting mechanics. Really, you have to make a page that suits yourself, because let's say, okay, when we talked about Kinzen's Gamersub Kinzen's, shout out to him, and also IPT Lights, Imperial Pro Team's mid laner Light, they had their own content where they showcased how they would use the new runes to their champions. And I gotta say, I never thought of it that way. I mean, when the pro players do it, they put a lot of creativity into it, but when I look at it, sometimes I don't think it matches me, but you should use it. I mean, I'm not as good as them. Obviously, I'm complete noob. So it's either maybe their rune page setup is so high mechanically in demand, you need to be very mechanically gifted, that I can't pull it off. So I go for easier setup. So I think that's what the rune page is all about. How about for you?
I mean, in my case, yeah, I guess I go for the same thing. You know, you want to try out things that would suit your playstyle a little bit more, but it's tilting again, isn't it? Yeah, it's preseason things. Yeah.
Man, sometimes I just wanna just sleep all day, wait for 2 weeks
until things kind of mellow down a bit.
Mellow down. I mean, as far as you can say, what is the most underwhelming path in the whole Runes Reforged? For me, it's Resolve. It's very underwhelming. I mean, abilities, the sorcery and domination and precision, they're very appealing to, let's say, all champions. But for me, Resolve is a bit underrated. Not underrated, very underwhelming.
Indeed, indeed. And I think from the games that we saw earlier,
doesn't matter how tanky you are, just get completely deleted, because let's face it, if you don't have any scaling MR or armor, you're no matter how much tanky you build, especially the Gnar we saw. The Gnar got a Black Cleaver, the Gnar got a Frozen Mallet, even a Ninja Tabe with lots of health, but when it came to the AP champions, instantly got bursted down. Why? Because we are so used to having glyphs of magic resistance.
Right.
We're so used to it that we forget that we have to build MR. So now you have to picture your build. What kind of MR items can I get that can benefit me in damage, can benefit me in the clash?
Yeah, and that's the really tricky thing there. You know, not having the same rune system wherein you could choose runes for that flat MR or scaling MR for some. I personally go for scaling MR. But yeah, with these changes, you can't really look to your runes anymore for those tanky stats that you would have had during the previous season. You really have to rely on the items to bring it to you, as opposed to having it innately through the runes, and to an extent even the masteries before.
Yeah, the masters before also offered lots of MR and runes and percentage increase. But since the Resolve 3 is very underwhelming, not many people get the, I forgot what it's called, but it gives you armor, magic resistance, and then a percentage of that is added to you. And I gotta say, that percentage increase helped me a lot in a way that, okay, tanks are getting tankier, but it's just that building raw damage is just more appealing than building tanks. It's either your team invests on a tank, like we saw in the LCL games today. Did we see any tanks? I didn't see any tanks.
No.
I didn't see any tanks in the sense that they built tanking. I didn't see any. Was Galio considered a tank? No, he built towards what? Damage. And when he built towards damage, and when a tank goes beyond, let's say, being tanky, being damaged, they lost.
And even when Galio did build, if I recall correctly, he went for an adaptive helm as well as Mercury Treads.
That was actually the Trundle in the top lane who went instantly adaptive helmet for the cannon. It worked against the cannon, but when a clash at top lane happened, he had to get armor. So it's like the tanks itself, they have a whole different nightmare of deciding which MR to get, which items to get.
Indeed, and man, overall, it's quite the tricky predicament especially for those that did kind of favor the more tankier champions, I'd say, because they just got shredded. So, man, not a good feeling.
I just hate the fact that when the preseason comes, we all know nothing. But it's also a challenge that it's the frustration that you don't know nothing that forces you to be more creative. And let's see, will this college students, the LCL players, showcase their creativity? Right now, Bicol University is on the blue side versus Siena College of Taytay on the red side.
There you go. Looking at the bans right now, Jarvan the Fourth, Sidrani, as well as the Corky, gonna be taken away from Siena College of Taytay, while the Talia Lee Sin as well as the Galio gonna be taken away from Bicol University. So, still, looks like the Cho'Gath potentially hovered over by Squid Ghost. That will be a lock-in. So we will be seeing that Cho'Gath feel it out for BU. Meanwhile, the Trundle hover over coming in from Siena College of Taytay.
Oh yeah. Sorry to cut you off there, Arctic, but if you notice, if you think about the runes Reforge, in the sense that you involve champions who get raw stats. Okay, if you can't get raw stats from your runes, might as well get it from your kit abilities.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the Cho'Gath getting health. So because of this, he can invest more on pure MR, maybe get the early Aegis. Or in this case, the Trundle doesn't need to get AD, doesn't need to build MR or armor because of its ultimate.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking that also in the sense that if you think of these champions which have a way of building their own stats, like you mentioned, Cho'Gath is one of them. Another one is Scion through his W, wherein for every creep score you get a boost of, I think that's about
4 health.
4 health, there you go.
And we also talk about Nasus, we talk about Veigar for pure combat
build up damage. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Have you watched the new Riot video, Fastest Nasus?
Oh, that I haven't checked out.
That's actually posted by League of Legends themselves. They actually showcased Phase Rush on the Nasus. I gotta say, it's ridiculously powerful.
Ooh.
But now on to the drafting. Oh, Janna. So, it's like the whole game itself, I would say, becomes less and less more of independent picks because Man, itemization is very, very tricky because when you first get your main item, what are you supposed to get next? Should you get another damage item? When we saw that, they got creamed.
It's really, there's a lot of critical thinking involved right now when you think about the preseason, but overall, I mean, this is the LCL, and there is a reason we are challenged what you know. That is the reason our tagline is that.
But for tomorrow, we will be lighting up the skies for the League of Legends Varsity League. I'm pretty excited to see. So if they don't know what to challenge, what they know, I mean, so
you won't be able to light up the sky. It's going to be dark and pitch black. But yeah, I mean, I have higher expectations because all those teams really, I saw a lot of preparation from all the teams, especially for those players that I'm friends with on social media. So I've been seeing a lot of posts about team meetings, team coaching. I know our LVL committee also hosted something with the coaches before, where they had a little bit of a discussion as well. So high expectations. But looking at it looks like the Hecarim gonna be locked in by SCT.
Finally, a Vayne is being removed because bad enough that the tumble with the static shift and infinity edge with the rapid fire cannon was bad enough. Now we have to deal with the press the attack Riven, or if you want to be a cheesing lord, go for the footwork. I don't know what it's called. Flaming footwork, what's it called? Yeah, just ridiculous. I was an Nasus in one game. I withered this Jhin. The withered Jhin with the fleet footwork still had a movement speed of 519. I was like, wait, where's my slow? I couldn't even chase down the Jhin. That's how powerful ADCs are when it comes to mobility and hyper carry. But now, let's see it. Zaya's being hovered in. Going to be picked up with the Janna. As for Pico University, Ezreal. I could picture that they might go for a Sona in this one.
Oh, you know what? That's actually something that could potentially be what. Jungle Ezreal. I know some.
Wait. Let's calm our brains for a while. Jungle Ezreal in this preseason. How do you think it's gonna fare? You don't have any more armor runes to be tanking the jungle, so how does this make S can easily kite the jungle, I would say.
Yeah, could easily kite the jungle. Plus, this is an era wherein damage is absolutely insane. So I think the lack of defenses and plus the kiting potential that Ezreal has, that's the boon of Ezreal jungle. You could kite around these camps in a way. Well, you have to be proficient at kiting around these jungle camps, but he easily makes up for it with the additional damage that he has under his belt. So I think overall, if anything, Ezreal jungle might be all the more, I hate to say it, all the more powerful.
Oh god, it's just like the rune glaive as this is bringing me back so many bad memories.
It's like all hell broke loose on Summer's Life, and I know, I remember Chisto not being a fan of that jungle Ezreal.
I remember Atlas just quitting my games when he sees this one.
God.
So shout out to Atlas for that.
Yeah, Chisto as well.
And so far, we're seeing Siena College of Tai Tai. They are finalizing their picks. We did see a hover on this array. But now, the question is, will this be a jungle Ezreal that will change the fight? Because as far as I want to know, I mean, we are actually interacting with our summoners right now. What are they thinking of the jungle meta? Because I would personally say, I would personally say that it would be the meta for assassins. Kha'Zix, Rengar. I consider Hecarim an assassin because of the what's it called? The one with the wolf icon. What's it called? The wolf. The domination. The ruthless. No, that's not ruthless predator. What's it called?
You got this, man. You got this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, you need a little bit of Milo or something to boost that memory of yours. But nonetheless, guys, with both compositions, as Vulcan said, discuss with us. Feel free to let us know in the chat what you think about the meta right now, especially with the jungle.
Maybe let me know what's the keystone with the wolf.
The wolf.
Looks
Yeah.
like. The wolf. Yeah, the wolf. Because I'm pretty sure that Tarzan, king of the jungle, what we saw with the Sejuani, a very aggressive Sejuani, SCT really is clearly entering this game as one of the more experienced one because they
Predator. There you go.
Predator. Well, thank you right there, Mr. Broad Guy. It was called Predator. So, as far as I know, the Predator, this is how it goes. You just get the boots, It's like an active ghost itself, but
Ah.
it almost shares the same cooldown as a ghost. So obviously this Hecarim is going to be a huge threat. So when it comes to damage-wise, College of Taitai, Siena College of Taitai, I would give props to them. But for Bicol University, I love to see how this Caitlyn can just purely abuse the precision path.
Oh yeah.
ADCs right now are clearly benefiting it more than the bruisers. So that's why you see tanks nowadays more. You saw the Trundle being attacked with helmet. This Trundle probably is going on dying.
Ooh. I just recalled. I remember this Ari as well, another one of those champions that's just absolutely painful in the preseason. I remember my first game ever in the preseason. There was an Ari, and our mid laner, he fed like
the UNICEF employees. It was on a feeding
Probably
program.
even worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he fed more than UN can actually ever feed to people to stop world hunger.
Think of an intergalactic creature that eats the Earth in one gulp. That's probably the best way to describe it. Like literally at 20 minutes, he was like 110. It's that
That's
bad.
not that bad. I've experienced 10 minutes and it's 110 itself.
110, but at the same time, the Ari, like after feeding on Zed, feeds off all the rest of the lanes. Because the reason the Zed probably didn't go more than 10 was he was pretty much scared out of his wits to even.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would actually really agree with you on that because it's not just the gold you get, it's the respect you
Yeah.
get. When you one-shot someone, they suddenly question their life decisions. What happened? Like, suddenly they blink, their screen turns gray. When a champion, let's say, like what we recall, the Vladimir in the previous game was premium fed. What happened there? Everyone was so scared to even go for the Drakes, for the Baron, and that's how they lost the game because they were just overcome by fear. And I think that's something they have to work on because when you see a fed champion, you can work together, group up, but we did see that. We did see that in one scenario, if you recall, the Morgana with the Zonius Hourglass
Oh yeah.
with the chains. I gotta say, the Kled just miscalculated. So it's more on how you test the waters first before going in. You don't want to cannonball dive to a hot spring where, let's say, the temperature is 50 degrees, because I've done it once. It's really painful.
But we'll just have to see later on. Vulcan, of course, once again, for those of you that have just tuned in, you're watching the Garena LOL Collegiate League powered by Lenovo. Challenge what you know. We are, of course, your casters once again. I'm Arctic. With me is Vulcan.
Keep
And
calling me Hebom, though.
yeah, a little bit of a trivia right there. I'm Theo. He's Hebom. Yeah. Darn it.
So
It's like Vulcan's like, oh, why you do this? But yeah, like I've been saying, this is game 4 between Bicol University versus Siena College of Taitai. So these are places that are very, very far off. Taitai is like over here, and then Bicol is all the way down there. So yeah, interesting. Like Vulcan's like, so what?
yeah, so what?
Like, think about it. It's interesting how these guys are far apart from each other, but facing off each other.
We're not in the
and
1890s where we rely on snail mail. We have internet, we have technology, so distance is nothing when you're playing League.
Yeah. But anyways, looks like we'll be able to hold off that conversation, thankfully, as we head into Game 4. Once again, this is Bicol University versus Siena College of Taitai. Shave and H2O Esports take the stage on Summoner's Rift. Let's head into the action.
Challenge what you know with Theo Arctic.
You're so doing that on purpose. I know you're doing that on purpose, man. But still, regardless, going into this game right now, looks like Bicol University, I like that. I like how they establish early vision on so that.
Man, this is what you expect when the home start has been buffed so much that you can reach the blue side of the enemy in just a matter of time. This actually makes the game shorter. Let's say the blue buff does spawn at 1 minute and 30 seconds, not anymore 1 minute and 40. And I would say, the minions also spawn faster. So invading wise, I think Bicol University, they're losing valuable time. And I don't want to see Squid Goals waste a good teleport just to go back to lane. And now we're seeing, oh, look at that. H2O Esports, they took stage.
Oh.
They took the territory of the blue buff. What time is it? Okay, 7 more seconds. And the blue buff will spawn. If Squidward does not see this, he will just be turning a blind eye or could be, I don't know, picked off by this hacker. Let's look at the blue side. Yes, thank you.
Oh, looks like Squiggle's gonna catch it
Okay,
out.
here it comes. He does pay a heavy price. He does knock up the Trondo, but this is actually good because Squidward now knows that the blue buff is being taken away by Tarzan.
It was at this moment where Blur realizes,
Whoa, wait,
hey,
Blur?
I'm gonna go for that blue.
Blur finished the red buff pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's
What?
that, my friend, is the beauty of the preseason plus pretty decent lead.
Is he running the domination tree, I would say? His fists are red, so... Oh yes, he's having a Soul Eater!
Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, sorry, Soul Eater. Harvest!
There you go.
That's what you call it. He's running actually the Harvest. Interesting. Very interesting. This Azrael jungle is running the Harvest Dominion... Domination path. I mean, all these names makes me always remind me of other games that I used to play, and this is why I like.
Reminds me of animes and other stuff, but it's like
yeah.
we have to fight.
Looks like Flash was
Wow.
burned, and I think Hook took his place, and that's what you expect from an Azrael. Level 2 to 3, easy gag, first blood.
Wow, did you see that? That was beautifully played by Discrepancy because it's like 1 potato, 2 potato for Hook right there. Oh,
I
it's
don't
like
think
nothing
Tarzan
set.
should commit to this. Yeah, this is the
Ooh.
problem. I mean, let's say at this point in the stage, I have to observe that when I observe mages right now, they have really, really low armor starting. And we can see this Orianna having an armor of
Oh.
31. Charm does connect. Oh my god, Blur! Thank you so much for that special delivery. Double buff transferred to Ariari.
Yan yung sinasabi nila sa mga rank games ko pag yung mga kalaban ko, yung pag nag-jungler in, like pag gumank yung jungler, tapos na-double pilt pa kayo, yun yung sinasabi nilang, yun yung mag-chat sila ng /all, buff transfer complete. And
Yeah.
that's what happened right now.
This is what I love about... what I hate about junglers who just cannot catch a break are just plain old thirsty. But that's what I like about the Dark Harvest. It's the description is kind of weird, but it kind of forces the champion, your player, the summoner itself, to be very passive in the jungle. But
Oh.
you have to stack those up kasi. Pero if you want to use those easy cheesy damage, Dark Harvest is pretty good. But I do hear some forum saying that Dark Harvest is not that good investment.
Whoa!
I think right now we're just gonna be seeing more on trade-offs, more on overcommitments. Ari did not have the flash there, and they keep forgetting that this is a jungle Ezreal.
Ito yung gusto ko sa preseason. Long gone are the days wherein things are just so silent within the first 10 minutes. No.
You
With
can't
these
go
changes, you just go, 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 boom, boom, pow.
Boom boom pow. That's why there's this very interesting rune slot for the inspiration path where before the 10-minute mark you permanently gain 100 health. You take 10% less damage from enemy champions. So just from reading that, I can really determine that this game is built all around early aggression. I mean, there was one time I saw this Lux. The starting armor for Lux was just 19. 19 armor only. I gotta say that's a really low armor. So
yeah.
who's supposed to be squishy remains squishy, like really squishy.
And that's just the price that you have to pay with the recent changes right now. But still, Beagle University, great start so far, I gotta say. And I like the designation of Ezreal in the jungle. Definitely a great way to really maximize the damage off if you can. But we have a fight.
Looks like this death sentence will not connect. The play does land onto the Jana. No follow-up. Looks like this Thresh is running the Shockwave. I like it.
You like it.
But it's just sad that the Resolve 3 is very underwhelming when it comes to early aggression. But when it comes to late game, okay, hands down, late game, Wing Salt is very powerful. When you want to control, you have to pick a champion with really good CC, and I think Thresh fills that role.
Oh yeah, definitely. And overall, this is one of those scenarios wherein sometimes you look at the composition that Bicol University has. Like, they have a decent amount of CC. And sometimes I even recall like other games wherein they a lot of jungle Ezreal and they barely even have a CC. Sometimes there's that element of surprise wherein you don't need the CC if the
Look at that. Oh. Blink of an eye, just lands on that Xayah. Very low in health. Ignite is there. Come out, go for the kill. Oh no, he just backs off. The turret is just a bit too painful for the Thresh to handle.
Oh yeah, but still, a lot of pressure happening here towards the bottom side. Tarzan is within the vicinity though, so we'll see if he can help alleviate some of this pressure.
First blood did go to... Who did it go to? Just kidding. It went to the Ahri.
I'm like, wait a minute.
No, it went to the... Let's see. Yes, it went to the blue side. That's good. Remember that gank that really failed horribly for that Ezreal in the mid lane. Gave a kill to Ahri. Look at that. Hex Tech, Revolver. Already evens... already kind of evens up the gold deficiency of the Orianna between the Ahri. So good job for the Ahri.
Overall, still, we're sitting at 2-1 right now. There have been a lot of attempts at ganks though. A lot of pressure across the board, especially coming in from Blur here. Revealing very well just how potent his damage is. That will force the rest of SCT to flee whenever he shows his presence in a lane.
Wow.
Man, the damage.
Ridiculous damage. And the Shockwave does connect. Ignite is not yet available. He does not have Ignite as summoners, but there he goes, gets the kill.
That damage is
He went
absolutely insane.
Sorry naman, if he went Ignite, he would have a really easy lane. But yeah, you gotta think of the long run. Cleanse for the charm is something that you want to look out for. And 1-for-1 trade, supports down for supports, ADC versus ADC, but here comes Ezreal to tip the balance to his favor. Go in for the kill, will the Dark Harvest, look at the damage he gets, and he will just be walking up with an evil smile on his face.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did he just solo the Mountain Drake?
Ooh. What is going on?
How can you solo the Mountain Drake as an Ez?
Well, that's something I'm really...
Have you seen anything like that?
I'm speechless, to be honest.
Shouldn't the Ez have a hard time?
I mean, I guess not this preseason.
Maybe it's the Dark Harvest working its magic on us.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's definitely worth looking into after this game.
It's very and I think this is very entertaining for our viewers out there because this is preseason and can someone look for the Dark Harvest interaction between... I know there's an interaction between epic to large monsters, but not to a point that an Ezreal can solo the Mountain Drake with almost perfect health.
I remember, again, this is, I think, a point that I brought up earlier. Like, they really want to take Summoner's Rift to a point wherein the overall game time is much more faster. But this is crazy.
I wouldn't say the game time, but the pace itself. Because you can make the game really, really fast. Let's say reach to their spikes. But I don't think these teams are easily going to give up. They won't yield until their spirits are crushed.
I love how SXL held that lane for Rain right there. But still, yeah. Let's go ahead and check things out. Winning here towards the top side,
Interesting. This is where we see itemization coming to works.
Yes.
Naturally, when you're facing a against an MR champion, you get, that's AP champion rather, sorry, AP champion. We see this Trundle get a ninja champion.
I like the proactivity. That's to counter the Ezreal, and later on it will help deal with a little bit of redemption discrepancy as well.
Yeah, but isn't it a bit too early? This is where I'm really confused at most as a player because when I see a Cho'Gath, I would actually get some magic resistance.
Mercury Threads,
Threads at least for the slow.
I think it's about power weighing the lesser evil here. Like, who do I not want to take them? Who's going to be much more painful in the long run? Is it
if you actually if you actually think about it, isn't Ninja Tabi considered a really OP item in a way?
For me, yeah. Especially when you're up against these compositions, or especially in the preseason where there's a lot of
auto attack based champions.
Yeah, exactly. and that 10% becomes such a huge asset. Oh.
It's okay. He got the first turn. He is willing
Not
to
bad.
trade his life for the first turn. But here comes the tower dive with a Venostorm. Forward to disengage. But here comes great timing of the ace in the hole plus one basic attack. We did not see it there, but after the ace in the hole, there was one last proc thanks to the trap that secured in the kill. And now Shave gets two. Wait, what happened to the cage? Shave gets two turrets.
Yeah, and it's very much a mirror of what happened in the mid lane earlier. I'm going to take that turret, I'm going to take your life at the same time, but Blur though.
But is it a good trade?
Ooh.
Okay, I don't know what Stim was thinking there, but was it a good trade to get two turrets for one turret, one member? But the first turret did go towards, I would say,
I think
Oriana.
In the bigger picture,
It's always worth it, right?
yes, especially if you're going to look at the gold difference right now. Bicol University definitely picks up the tempo, more than 4,000 of a gold deficit. And overall, with these two turrets taken down, sure, it didn't cost them death each for mid and bot, but this does give a little bit more flexibility for both Rain and Discrepancy to take control of this map, to command their presence in a way. So, yeah, I'd definitely say it's worth for Bicol University, especially if you're going to factor in the gold difference at only 12 minutes in the game.
Oh man, 12 minutes into the game, kill score 8-4, turret score 2. Bicol University Shave, good and doing pretty good, pretty solid, but for top lane, they do have a slight goal advantage. But when we're talking about the more impactful lanes, the bottom lane, look at that, 5,300 to 3,600. Obviously, we know who's going to be scaling well, who has more damage, but right now, I think Powers is really having a hard time here because Frozen Domain is up. He can't get away from that Shogun because of the Q and the slow from his E. Okay, thank you so much, says Squid Goals. I'll take that gift for you. Tarzan just made a slip up, and that causes for a 2-0 trade.
Oh man, 10-4 right now, really building.
That moment when you get bamboozled by your own teammate.
Oh,
I thought that maybe he thought he could burst down.
Yeah.
That's how I would think. That's how I would always think.
okay, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But still, looks like bot lane pressuring the side John as well.
They need to communicate. They lack communication. For H2O to step up, they need to communicate. Should we go and defend? There's a trap right there, and he's not going back yet. He's going for the monsoon, and he just instead flashes away from the trap, but he does get a body block from the Zaya. That will be a win for Bicol University. They do manage to maul down the targets, and already 30 minutes into the game, they're in 14 minutes. Turret is always down in the mid lane, all the way into the inner turret. This is bad news for H2O Esports as they did not even answer Bicol University's Shave's really aggressive push. And now here comes Tarzan for a kill, but the lantern is here. Looks like the horse does get spotted around the blue side of H2O Esports.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit more trickier if they did decide to pursue, especially if you're going to consider where Discrepancy and XL are at right now. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to look at the Hecarim, not even a single item complete, right? Not his jungle item, not even the Trinity Force that he's trying to build up.
That's the tricky part when you're playing the Hecarim. As we all know, it's common sense.
Yeah.
The common sense in a way is that when you're doing so well in life and you get all the moolah, you would invest in something very expensive that is going to be a worthy investment. That's what Hecarim was picturing. It was okay to picture that. But when you're talking about an Ezreal jungle with a higher CS than you, with a higher KDA than you, that is just going to be bad news. And now we're seeing this Caitlyn getting a lot of power, getting a lot of hit in. Looks like the Ezreal will be flashing in for this Ari. Does get the body block from the Janna. Looks like true shot barrage. Will miss. Ace in the hole. Oh, that is a close call. Good thing this Ari is an alcoholic, drinking down that potion, but leaving behind this trundle. That will be Bicol University Shave choking the members of H2O Esports with the trundle down. Only 4 members remain for H2O. Looks like the Shave, Bicol University Shave, they may opt to get this Rift Herald. Baron will be live in 5 minutes, so they have a lot of time to work with.
That was such a beautiful shield save coming in from SXL earlier, and overall, whoa, okay, that was a bit weird, but still, this does grant a lot more opportunity for Bicol University overall. The gold lead is absolutely insane, and it's only 15 minutes into the game. Again, this preseason, just doesn't fail to disappoint with all the surprises. But then again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point because as we've been saying time and time again with these games, it's all about the early game. And if you're able to establish such a heavy lead in the early game, it's almost, as Vulcan said, it's almost hard to make a comeback because that's not really an avenue you could take, especially when you're dealing with this level of damage coming in from Blur, coming in from Rain, coming in from Discrepancy, just so many factors that you have to deal with for Siena College of Taytay, and we're just going to have to see how this goes down for them. And from what I'm seeing here, though, across the board, not a single person on Bicol University is at a deficiency. In fact, it's almost an insult in a way when a support has a better KDA than all the people combined on SCT. Not a single person trumps a 3-1-3 Thresh in a way across the board. So, yeah, I mean, this is just quite the predicament that Siena College Taytay has to deal with.
Oh man, 70 minutes into the game, the next Drake will be the Infernal Drake as far as we can see as the progress of the game. So far, Bicol University, Shave has a goal lead of 9,000. 9,000. I would say 9,000. Yes, 9,000 with a third lead score of 3-0. So this is bad news for H2O Esports. They are not bouncing back just yet. They are already at the danger zone, as I would like to call it, when you're approaching the 10K goal lead. Because once you approach the 10K goal lead, I mean, that is just very difficult to bounce back.
Yeah.
When I see a 10K goal lead, honestly saying, I can already say that this team is controlling this game so well that they will just end up winning. But we did see instances where their goalie was 8,000. I really love that moment where the Baron was used against enemy team.
Yeah.
And they just completely choked and reversed the game. That's what H2O Esports should look for. Play around the Baron with the Baron is the most powerful buff in the game, without a doubt. Lasts the longest than the Elder Drake. But it's also the fact that you can use it against your enemy. What's this? Blur going in for a shot, cheap shot. Close call.
But you know what? You mentioned that it's something that they should look for. If anything, it's what they should hope for in this case, because at this point in time, Bicol University has minimal margin of error with the lead that they have right now. And overall, they're just toppling towards one after the other. And SCT can only do nothing but play defense right now and react to whenever BU goes on the offense. They have no choice but to either retreat or just try to hold their ground. But as far as going head-to-head, that's something that's quite impossible right now when you can't even withstand the damage output that these three key members from jungle, mid, ADC are packing to the punch.
This Ezreal has 11 stacks in the Dark Harvest. Harvest, yes. But, wow, 90 minutes in. We're racing endgame, huh?
Yeah.
Rift Herald is still alive, taking down the inhibitor. Three members going in. H2O making a last stand, fearing the Ezreal. Ezreal does get the shot down.
Discrepancy. And take note, that's a 1-for-1 in a 3-for-5. What more if this were a full-on 5v5?
And that's why I told you when I see a goal lead of more than 10,000. Goal lead now reaching 12,000. Two members of Bicol University.
No.
Oh no, the Zag gets caught by the hook, but does manage to get away with the Featherstorm. Did get slow in the box, but here comes Tekram going in with the charge. Takes down SXL, leaving behind Discrepancy, but maybe he can outdamage him. Do not underestimate a lonely Caitlyn.
Yep. When that loneliness
Look
hits,
at the damage she's doing.
she gets all the more frantic.
Instant regrets this hacker. Red teleport coming in, two teleports channeling through. Extra hole will not finish that off, obviously. That would be the Eternal coming in. Ice Pillar is there.
Oh,
Wow,
no.
There is the flash with the monsoon to disengage. Chogan is there for the slow. Here comes Oriana in the blue side, closing in for the gap, going for the flag towards the Eternal and Janna. Janna is very low. Janna does not have mana. That's an easy kill for the Caitlyn. Going for the shot, he does miss. Now with the minion wave in the advantage for Bicol University Shape in the bot side. They are pushing it, whereas H2O Esports, their mid lane is a bit shoved. The Ari is defending.
Ooh, this is so tricky right now for Siena College Taytay. Things are just going south for them too fast. And I'm not just talking about the conference here. 12,000 gold deficit at 20 minutes into the game. That's insane. And Infernal Drake, this is probably one of the worst Drakes you want to give to Bicol University because it only amplifies just how painful they are. And they're going to bring the pain to SCT at this point. With one inhibitor down and just 2 to go. It's only a matter of time before these inhibitors fall. And like Vulcan mentioned earlier, we could only hope for SCT to have those opportunities, which clearly isn't something that might not be feasible with where Bicol University is in right now.
Why is it not feasible? Because Bicol University, Bicol University Shave. Hold that thought. Thresh gets spear. 3 members collapsing onto him. Play on the 2 members. Zai goes in. Looks like there's no crooks for him to hook onto. Looks like Tarzan takes down. Tarzan takes down the. I like the last one. Tarzan takes down SXL, and now Ace in the hole coming in. Hecarim does the body block. Ooh,
wow, the damage. Ooh, double kill.
That is just brutal. The true shot barrage deletes the Hecarim and the Janna. 2 members down for the count, 3 members remaining with Bicol University Shave and SCT H2O Esports. The Baron is not going to be there. Bicol University takes it away from SCT. Okay, that's a bit too ambitious there, Ezra. So right now, I would say the Thresh does not have the Baron buff. Only 3 members have the Baron buff.
And 3 is all they need. I mean, pretty much when Blur regroups with them, this may potentially be SCT's last stand. Looks like they are going for that mid inhibitor right now. So let's go ahead and see how much SCT can fare with that. But looks like the numbers advantage is in their favor though. But take note, Squid Goals can easily take down a member. Once his ultimate is up, okay, that's going to be the last one for the save. Blur, oh, that's going to be a hook on the Tarzan though.
Oh wow, look at that, Hecarim just, wow, you just shoot that horse down like a race car. Now that's just going to hurt. The Monsoon will lock up 4 members, but I gotta say, another convincing, dominating victory. Again, the LCL, where preseason is shaping how the games are being played out.
Indeed, Bicol University, after a defeat earlier in the hands of University of Santo Tomas Legazpi, make a comeback against Siena College of Taytay. Looks like we have our victors for Game 4 of the South Luzon Conference. Congratulations once again, Bicol University's Shave. Man, Vulcan, I don't know about you, but this is almost something that we've been predicting earlier, where all these games across the board are most likely going to go no later than 30 minutes. And yeah, prediction 4 out of 4 games. That's exactly what happened.
And it's just brutal. It's just the brutal fact that whoever adapts quicker through change will always win.
Oh yeah.
Whoever evolves better as a team, as a player, will be the better man, the better team in this tournament in the LCL. So there you guys have it. This concludes Game 4 of Bicol University Shave versus Siena College of Taytay H2O Esports, with Shave, Bicol University, winning their game with a very convincing, dominating victory.
Yep, indeed, very convincing. And just one last note right there. Going into Game 5 and 6, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see another feat where in less than 30 minutes. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
We'll see. But after the short break, there you guys have it. You just watched the Garena Local Collegiate League Summer 2017. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Arctic. See you after the short break. The hole coming in. Hecarim does the body block. Ooh,
wow, the damage. Ooh, double kill.
That is just brutal. Wow, you just shoot that horse down like a race car. Now that's just gonna hurt. The Monsoon will lock up 4 members, but I gotta say, another convincing, dominating victory. Again, the LCL, where preseason is shaping how the games are being played out.
Indeed, Bicol University, after a defeat earlier in the hands of University of Santo Tomas Legazpi, make a comeback against Siena College of Taytay. Looks like we have our victors for Game 4 of the South Luzon Conference. Congratulations once again, Bicol University's Shave.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.